this computer.
Very good.
Okay, excellent. Usually gives me the warning that it's recording, right? It usually says recording in session. All right. How's everyone this evening? I was going through a lot of topics and I thought, let's do a little twist on things. I think everybody's kind of having some trouble right now on pushing their listings. The market's super slow. There's a lot of frustration out there. So I just thought I'd go over some basic rules on how to really make your listing sell faster in a slower market. So if you guys have any specific questions that you want to answer, does anybody have anything specific they want me to address right now? First off, that's actually happening with their listing, something not moving, you're not getting a lot of showings. Anything very specific about your listings happening? How are you guys finding the market even showing wise? I find it's ironic. We get a listing and we throw it up and our listings sit, and then, you know, we work with our buyers and we go see those listings and these guys have bidding wars still going on. So you're like, what the heck is going on? It's not necessarily your fault. It just depends on what type of listing you have and the demand for it, but it also has a lot to do with how you're strategizing. So I was going to go over a few basic strategies to sell your house, to sell your listing in a slow market. So just give me a minute here. I'm just going to share my screen with you guys. Lots of people coming in and out, in and out. I don't know if you guys are having some
Hello.
some connectivity issues here. Is there?
Tax bill of the property. Huh? Muntar. Oita tax bill lagbe keno?
You're eating cookies. They're eating cookies in my class here. Okay. How to sell in
property
a
tax
slow
bill.
market. There we go. We got it all up and running here. I had technical difficulties. I couldn't even share it earlier. Okay. So as we know, sellers markets do not last forever. We see them come and go, come and go. So we talk a lot about, you know, how we had a really high market 2017, changed to a buyer's market 2018. We were right back into a seller's market 2019. We see through COVID that lasted, it really spiked, and now we're back into sort of a buyer's market. So you as an agent have to be able to adapt and change. So when people coming into my office right now, they're complaining that they're slow. There's a couple of things that you have to do. First of all, I feel this is a really good time to focus on your buyers. So any business that I've done in recent months, when things have been a little slow, it's just been me going back over my center of influence and talking to everybody that I haven't heard from in a while, or maybe couldn't afford, or maybe didn't really want that aggressive market of 15 bids and 30 bids happening on each property. So I just went back and spoke with those buyers. So I find I'm working a lot more with buyers right now. Sorry, in the chat, I think someone has here. Hello, someone is unmuted, so we can't hear. I think the problem's okay now. I don't hear anybody unmuted. 1 second, I'll just go back out here and check and see. I think it's good now, right? Oh, maybe is it this one? There we go. I found somebody, but I didn't hear anything personally on my end. Okay, everybody good now? You can hear me? Okay, so it's possible to sell your house. Yes, it's possible to sell still for fair market value. We just have to talk about strategizing how we're marketing our listings a little better in a slow market. So the first thing is pricing strategies. Pricing strategies are super important, probably the most important thing you can do. Okay, so when facing a slow market, pricing your home correctly is so important, more so than usual, if you're trying to sell in a particularly stiff buyer's market. So yes, the prices are down. Yes, we're in more of a buyer's market is what we've considered, but we find even our buyers are really cautious right now because we still have another rate hike looming over us. They don't know what's going to happen in the market. Even they're a little nervous right now. So if you have a listing that's not moving, you might want to go back and check your pricing strategy. So just a basic quick review here. If you go back to pricing strategies, I did one like about 6 months ago. We did a pricing strategy. Maybe I'll reiterate that next Tuesday. Pricing strategies are what? When you can price your home low or high or in the middle, right? So if your asking price is too low, you make a quick sale. You usually sort of get a bidding war started for your property. But you know, sometimes they say you could be leaving money on the table. Not necessarily. In the mass market, we experienced a lot of people who were getting more money. Your asking price is too high. This means that you'll be sitting on the market a little bit longer than the days on market. I hope everybody knows how to read the TREB Market Watch. You guys should be going at the beginning of every month and checking the last month. Maybe I can pull that up again as well in this training to check what the TREB market stats are for what the days or market are. So basically your pricing strategies are you're selling low, you're getting a quick sale. You're pricing high, you're sitting longer than the average days on market. You price it at the median, you should be selling right at that days on market, the average for whatever it is for TREB right now, right? So that's just a quick overview on pricing strategy. You have to take a lot of things into consideration, which we're going to go over. Pricing strategies, I'm just going to give you guys an example. You have to use really keen methods, and don't be afraid to check your competitors, check your other listings that are going on out there. Sorry, I'm just going to log into Stratus for a second and show you guys an example of my own personal listing. 9366. There we go. 1 second. I'm just going to log in here, guys. You have to be able to know what is going on in the area that you're listing in, what the other houses are using, what the other condos around you are using, what their strategy is, what price they're at, and comparatively list yours accordingly, right? So if you're listing a property, just because you checked the recent sales and what things sold for, yes, that's important to tell your client exactly what they'll get for their property, but you really, really have to share with them what currently is out right then and there. So whenever I sign paperwork with my clients, I'm just going to stop the share and come back for a second just to make sure you guys can see the Stratus screen here. Whenever I talk to my clients, I'm in the listing appointment. If we're not putting the property up for another 2 weeks, I always say to them, you know, in 2 weeks, okay, say we're decided we're going to list it $7.99. I always tell my clients, you know, when it comes 2 weeks from now, we're about to load the listing. Once you finish your paint and we've got it all staged, we're going to revisit this price because I want to see what's actually out on the market right now, who the competitor is, because your pricing strategy is really important. It's important to look at the past sales, but you also have to look at what's currently up against you, because your job is to draw traffic to your listing, right? So we're talking about it being a slow market. If you put a poor pricing strategy out there, you're going to get shown less than the competitor. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a funny thing here. So I have a listing up on Grangeway right now. As soon as it catches up with me there, go on Stratus. I think the internet's a little slow. There we go. So I have a listing up at 68 Grangeway, and I was the only listing up there. And this agent has done their job and has done exactly what I'm explaining to you guys. And I'm going to show you just because I think it's a really good idea that you guys go in and do these things when you have a listing going up. Okay, and it may seem, I don't know, mean or competitive or whatever, but your job is to sell that listing faster than the other agent at the end of the day anyways, right? So I have a listing at 206. You guys can see I've been 30 days on the market now. We're very slow showings, trying to boost it, trying to revamp it. I'm just in talks with my client. The only reason I've left it like this now is because this other person has put one up 14 days ago. Okay, normally I wouldn't leave a listing this long, but I don't want to adjust it right now because my pricing strategy is to see what happens with this other listing that's gone up 14 days ago. Otherwise, by now, I would never let something sit 30 days. I would have told them to relist it. Let's change the price. Let's change the picture. Let's change the description, which we'll talk about in a little more. The reason I did is because this guy has definitely used his brains and he's doing a great pricing strategy. He went up 14 days ago. You can see that I'm listed at 688. He's listed at 588, so 100,000 less than me. So he's also a 2-bedroom, 2-washroom, right? The maintenance fees are a little bit different, so his square footage is probably slightly bigger. I don't know if they have a bigger patio or what the layout is exactly. But what he's done is, right now, the pricing strategy we all know is that a lot of bidding wars aren't working, right? But he's figured, okay, let me figure out, there's this other listing that Christine has at 206, unit 206 in the same building. What's my pricing strategy going to be? And a well thought out realtor has listed 100,000 under what I've listed it at. So when people look at 2-bedroom, 2-washroom, he's probably going to get shown more than me now in the building. And he set a bid date for November 29th. Okay, so the only reason, like I say, that I'm sitting here 30 days on the market and I haven't moved is because I'm hoping in the next 5 days I can guide my clients a little bit better to see what I think they could get in today's market. Because the last sale wasn't for a little bit. I believe when I looked in this building, the last similar unit sold, you know, in August. And so now listing it, you know, end of October, I wasn't really sure exactly what they could get. We've kind of been playing with the numbers a bit. So that's a good idea. So like I say, pricing strategy is definitely your first and foremost thing you should be doing. You should be going in with your listing and you should be comparing. Yes, do your CMA. Yes, check back and see what the sales were, because those are solid numbers that you can work on and what your client can get, what you know they can achieve. But you should also be looking at what your current competition is. And it works the same for freehold. So all I would do is, for instance, this is a building, it's really easy to look at. But say I had a listing coming up in E09, right? I'm just going to go and I'm going to open up E09 right now. Okay. And say it's Woburn area I'm looking in. Okay. I can see there's 12 other listings. So I'm going to pretend that I'm listing, let's find something pretty similar. I'm going to list a 2-story, okay? Because there's a whole lot of bungalows and back splits here, but I still only see one 2-story. So we're going to pretend that I'm listing a 2-story. So this 54 Pegasus is a 2-story. I know they're going to be my direct competition. So I have to look at ways to pull the traffic because there's such little traffic happening right now. It's a slow market. We're not only with the rate hikes and stuff, but we're also entering into the holiday season. So it's only about to get slower. So you really have to focus and make sure that you're pulling the traffic from these other listings to your listing. And I would just say, okay, they're listed at 1.249. Maybe mine's in better condition. Maybe I can showcase something they don't have. Maybe I can do a bidding war, whatever. Just be aware of what's currently your competition. Definitely a big point. Does anybody have any questions so far on pricing strategies there? Okay, I'm going to go on with the rest of the article here and see what else we can do. Aside from pricing strategies, we have to make impactful repairs and renovations. So in that really hot cake market, I found a lot of my clients saying, when I walk into a listing appointment, they say to me, hey, do you think I need to paint the kitchen? And I'd look and I'd go, you know, the market's so hot right now, it really doesn't matter because nobody's going to care a little bit of paint unless something's broken or falling down. They're going to walk through, probably put their own paint on it. Plus, you kind of get into a big catch-22 where I paint the kitchen and now the foyer looks a little dull. Oh, I painted the kitchen and now like the living room definitely looks like it's in a poor paint. So in that market, my advice to my client was no, right? Your advice to your clients now should be to put your best foot forward and make those impactful repairs and renovations. So any minor renovations, especially cosmetic right now, things people walk in, things that might be an eyesore, you definitely want to tell them to pay attention to those things now and fix those things, because people are being more and more picky because now they have the luxury of time. Last time, you know, in the market at the beginning of this year, people were walking in and they were really under pressure. They only had a few days to make a decision to compete against many other offers. Now they want to go and look at maybe 5-10 more houses after your listing, and they have the luxury of deciding, well, you know, I don't really want to paint the kitchen in that one. Maybe I'll purchase this one that's all fully freshly painted, right? So competition in a buyer's market is fierce and buyers can afford to be picky. Remember that. So now you're going to nitpick on your clients to finish off those little things that maybe we were fluffing off in the aggressive market, right? If you have the need to offload your property fast and don't have time to finish ongoing improvements, you can offset the cost of outstanding renovations and repairs from the asking price of your property. So it just means you're going to be adjusting it properly. Or say you get that as part of your feedback. You definitely would communicate that to your clients. Perhaps your sellers would consider taking up a bit off the price of the interested purchaser, right? Use a home stager. So using a home stager, again, a lot of properties that I sold in the hot market, I told my clients, don't waste the money. Don't waste the money now. Let's not spend the $3,000. I think your property is in good condition. It's going to go fast because the market was really aggressive. Well, now, for instance, if I'm that 2-story, in E09 Woburn going up and they're not staged, I'm definitely going to stage my property, because I want people to walk through the 2 in that neighborhood. And that's my major competitor. And I want them to walk in and go, wow, you know, that 54 Pegasus didn't look like your listing. Your listing looks smashing, right? And you got to keep in mind to even keep the costs down, because I know a lot of us are slow on sales right now. I've been telling my stagers to just give me that wow factor when you walk in the door. So you don't necessarily need to fully stage the entire house, but you always remember that first impression is what stands in people's minds, right? When they go home and they've seen 5 properties with their realtor, they're going to remember the one that they walked in and went, wow, and they had that feeling in, right? So focus on foyers. When you walk in, if you can see the dining room, a beautifully set table, something blingy, something nice, you know, great kitchen, you know, really staged out. So definitely now is the time to use our home stagers. If you guys don't have a home stager, look for one and try it out on your next listing. And I'm telling you, it'll make a world of difference right now. Okay. You're going to have your property professionally cleaned. So when people are looking at a home, this is kind of a thing anyways I do for all listings. Definitely clean home is a sellable home. But when people are looking for a home, they may be able to envision themselves and their family within the space. If the home looks dirty or cluttered is a huge one. I always tell everybody when I'm listing a property, clean surfaces. Give me clean countertops, clean shelves, maybe 1 or 2 knickknacks on them, you know, clean tables, clean, you know, made beds, just, you know, especially if it's not staged. Just give me a clean sense of cleanliness throughout the house when people walk through. It says here, you know, if it's messy, buyers will find it difficult to get a true sense of the property, curbing the speed and value of a potential sale. They don't feel like they're at home in it. They want to get out of the mess and dirt. We had a listing not too long ago, you know, we almost didn't want to put a please remove your shoe sign, and we really tried with the clients because people found our showings were just going in and out real quick because they were a little bit messy people. So you definitely want to encourage them. This might even be the time that you would send a cleaning lady in, which isn't unheard of, aside from using a home stager. Maybe if for those clients who are having difficulty keeping up or like maybe getting their house show ready, you could send a cleaning lady in. I've done it lots of times for clients and sent the cleaning lady in before I started showings for the property, just so it has that fresh sense of cleanliness when people walk in. It'll give you the best chance to sell. Definitely in today's market, right? So I know that a lot of people right now, a lot of our sellers are thinking, what are different ways? So these are kind of objections that you're going to come across right now when it becomes a difficult market. Your sellers are going to be cracking down on wanting to pay commission for sure, because they feel they're getting a lesser price. Okay. And I guess, you know, let me just repeat the thing that I keep on saying over and over again, in case some of you out there haven't heard it. This is a big objection right now. Our clients are saying, I don't know, like I'm going to sell my property now, but I'm going to get less money for it. Why should I sell my property right now? Have you guys been coming across this difficulty with your clients? Right? What you want to tell your clients is that, you know, if you're selling and purchasing another property, really, it doesn't mean, it doesn't make a big difference what you're getting for your property right now. Because if you sell low, you're also going to purchase low. In the higher market, if you sold your house for $200,000 more, you were purchasing for $200,000 more as well. So sometimes when you say that to them, that settles their brain and it makes sense in their head. Like I say, the only clients that we have to be truly careful with right now is our investor clients, right? So if you have these clients that really want to cash out, so our my listing in Peterborough, I just had this discussion with them the other day. I said, you know, let's keep it up, let's try. But I said, you know, maybe we could turn around and rent it, because this is an estate sale. They're cashing out. They're looking to maximize their profits. I said, you know, if you're not hurting too much, perhaps we could rent it for the year and get you a better profit in a year from now once the market kind of corrects itself. Right? This is the advice you should be giving your clients. You want to give them true advice and tell them exactly what to do. So again, that's the objection to how to handle it. But a lot of our clients say to us, you know, what about the iBuyers and the We Buy Cash for Homes company? A lot of people think that that's really great because, you know, especially now if they've been sitting on the market like 30 days, like that one at Grange Way there, that's a lot of days for people just to be getting interrupted with showings every now and then and sort of trying to keep the house show ready all the time. Everybody prefers a faster sale because it's less headache to them and their day-to-day living, right? So you may be tempted to our clients may be tempted to use these We Buy Cash we buy houses for cash kind of companies. And what are we saying to them to cool this objective? right? We're going to say to them that, you know, in order to push fast sales, the We Buy Homes for Cash companies will sell your home for below market value. I guarantee you they're not giving you over asking or as good as your neighbor got. And you can check the values, like, you know, it's very easy for them to get suckered in, because when they have to sell fast and they really got to move and they've been sitting 30 days in the market, like say you have that client who's transferred to Mississauga and they really need to be there by December and their house isn't sold yet, they're under that pressure. But you're going to just reiterate that these companies are buying for a lot undervalued, right? Have you guys ever gotten those notes in the mail or had your clients get them and ask you about them? You know what I mean? Those We Buy Homes for Cash. Right? A lot of them, they look like handwritten notes. So people think, oh, it's personal. No, like it's a handwritten note. They really, really want to buy my house. Have you ever called or talked to any of these companies and seen?
Yeah, we talked, yeah. And he said, yeah, how much you expecting I would sell for you that way, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
2-3 times came to the letter.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I've never had one that a good experience with a client say that they called and they've got a good price. I always hear that it's undervalued, lower price. I mean, obviously they're doing you a big favor by taking the property off your hands. I mean, I suppose if you were fighting a foreclosure and you were down to the 11th hour, it might help in that regard. But yeah, definitely risky for sure. The other one, I think I have it later on though for sale by owner. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a little bit then. So establish a unique selling point. This is another thing we're going to talk about. Remember, I was talking about how to differentiate the two properties, the 2-story on Pegasus there. I'm going to go, if they're not staged, I'm definitely going to stage. So this is just a different way to do that. You want to sit there and really think about what's unique about this house, more so than the one that the one that's up for sale, your competition, your current competition, right? Obviously, when we look at sales, our clients say, well, my neighbor sold for, you know, $950. I get more than $950 because I have a pool or I have an upgraded kitchen, right? But I'm talking about currently looking what your competition is right now. So in a slow market, many houses within your area may boost similar features, making it difficult for buyers to differentiate. So they're going to say, okay, both are 2-story, both have 4 bedrooms, both have, you know, a renovated kitchen, both have a finished basement. So make your listing stand out amongst the crowd by highlighting interesting or unique aspects of the property. So is there any historic architectural design, any antique fittings or fixtures, anything special, you know, custom built, you know? Hold on, let me let somebody in here. Large backyards, pool areas, tiki huts, bars downstairs, scenic views. Are you on a ravine? Do you have, I don't know, recent home improvements here, bay window spaces, skylights? Really focus on the things that are unique to your home that your client has done over the years and how it compares to that next property. Yep, the two may look like very similar. So that 54 Pegasus is actually in my neighborhood pocket. It's your basic standard 2-story. There's many homes that are exactly like that one in my neighborhood, but some people have added on like a little sunroom to the side. There's one just around the corner from that 54 that added a sunroom to the side of the property, or maybe they added an enclosed room in the back or put an addition on. Some people have closed off the area to make it a separate entrance to the basement. So I know that 54 Pegasus doesn't have a separate entrance. So you might want to just make these features stand out, because say I had a listing that was going up against that 54 Pegasus right now, and mine was a separate entrance. Just knowing that property or even taking a walk through could save your life to sell that property. If I say, oh, well, mine has a separate entrance, you know, and that it's going to show that that's income potential compared to 54 that's up right now, right? So definitely showcase the unique aspects of your property and how you can beat out that competition, okay? This one says, embrace unconventional marketing strategies. So this is when you guys have to become the marketing guru. In these markets, this is what you have to do. So this is talking about unorthodox marketing tactics. They're saying that it's a great way to expose your listing, get people engaged. What are some basic things that you guys should be doing though right now? Okay. So maybe in a really fast market, we all got away with having our marketing budget a little bit smaller because things are rolling along very smoothly, right? But you guys better dig in your pockets now and get a little marketing going, because you have to get the ball rolling for your business, right? So we're talking about specifically pushing our listings right now. You better be sending out just listed flyers, right? You better be posting it on your social media. You've got to be networking it, putting in your groups that you're on in WhatsApp, Instagram, putting posts out, doing your virtual tour, doing your drone, however you're trying to push and market this property. This is the time you have to go dig a little deeper in our pocket and spend a little more on our marketing, because the payout is a lot better than having your listing sit, right? Let's just see what it says here, though, for some unique ways. So design and distribute fun and creative newsletters to distinguish your property from competing listings. So maybe you're going to take EO9 Woburn and send out a little brochure to showcase. Now, you can't say bad things about other listings or other realtors, but people know what's happening in the market. So maybe I'll say, you know, only 2-story for sale at the moment with a separate entrance, right? For income potential. You might say something like that. Right? Hire a drone to live stream aerial videos and capture ultra HD photos of your property. So that's what I was talking about, drone photos. Definitely a great way right now. I had some properties up in the fall and I had a great time with drone photos because the fall colors are so beautiful, right? So think about it now, maybe with the Christmas lights going up, maybe if your clients decorated their property nicely, you might want to take into consideration, you know, that snow and the lights look really great and it'll showcase it well. Because I find it's a little more difficult to sell in the winter just because people can't see maybe the stamped concrete or the flagstone and the you know, the landscaping on the property. So it takes away from that first little bit of curb appeal. So it'll help us push it a little bit more. Leverage social media platforms to broaden your engagement with millennial buyers. So this is big. A lot of us are afraid of these platforms. We had that guy come in and he was, if you guys go back and watch those videos, and I know a few people here thought it was a little basic because some of us are used to the social media, but if you don't dabble too much in your social media, you're missing a big crowd. You're missing all the millennials, all the first-time home buyers, all the young families now. They're really, really looking to these forums to go and shop for their properties, right? It's not just on Stratus MLS or House Sigma online. That's not engaging for them right now. So look back at those videos. There were 4 of them there. There was, you know, one on LinkedIn, one on TikTok, one for Instagram, one on Facebook, and just try to dabble in, like, now while times are slower, it's time to, you know, you have that little bit of extra time to teach yourself a new trick, right? So maybe when the spring market comes out, now you're a TikTok sensation, you've got 1,000 followers and you've got a group of people to market your listings to, right? This is the time to sort of do that right now. Create a short elevator pitch and advertise your listing in person at local networking events and community forums. So again, we're in the holiday season. Don't be afraid to attend some community events and things that you're excited to go to. I think that, you know, the Scarborough Small Business Association is a great way to network. I've been to some of their functions sometimes. You should go online and see what in your community, what in your area, what in your little neighborhood is going on for the holiday season. Is your local MP, MPP, counselor having some sort of community event? Just because, you know, you think, oh, he's having a holiday event with Santa. Yeah, that's not really for me. But it's a great opportunity to meet people in the community and network in these events. You can hand out your business card. Real estate is always a topic, no matter what, whenever there's a group around. So it's a really excellent time to go. And while you're there and you engage someone in conversation about real estate, you can talk about the listings that you have up for sale right now. Right? You can say, you know, I have a condo right now up at McCowan and Ellesmere, you know, at 68 Grangeway. Absolutely. You know, let me tell you a little bit about it. So definitely, I know it's sometimes hard to be real super social because we're already busy with our own family engagements, but if you want to spend a little time dedicated to your business, it's a great way to do it. Host your listing on a standalone website. You'll have a lot more options to customize the general style and layout of the properties, photos, descriptions, and testimonials. So before I joined RE/MAX, this kind of sounded exhausting. But you guys, I hope you are going into your back office, your RE/MAX back office. I'm trying to get the RE/MAX guy in. We kind of had a hiccup there, but I'm trying to get him in to show us some more things. He's going to show us RE/MAX Hustle in the next coming weeks. But when you go in there, your ad center has so much to do in there, like, and it's already done for you. If you load a listing on MLS, if you have a listing right now, you don't have to pay somebody to create your just listed flyer. You don't have to pay somebody to create your feature sheet. Okay. It's all in there with the bleed and everything. So you can send it directly to the printer, and it lets you customize it a little bit in the RE/MAX back office. Okay. But one of the things that it lets you do is there's a website that comes up. You can make it a one pager, and it lets you shorten the website and everything. So you can make it the address of your property. Okay, so this is something really easy we can do. We're paying monthly for these fees and yearly to RE/MAX. These are the tools you guys should be going in and checking out how to use. Because if you have a listing that's not going right now and you're not monitoring it daily and you're not doing something to it daily and you just have it thrown up, you're being a bit of a lazy realtor, right? We had it too easy in the last little while. We have to go in. So I think it's a good tool. Go into the RE/MAX back office and see if any of those ad tools can help you. They don't only have stuff like websites and just listed flyers, but they have e-blasts. You know, you can send out an email to your clients. They have newsletters that you can set up. So many different tools back there that you guys can be using. It can help push your listing in there. You know, I was just saying that I should get back to sending my newsletter, because I used to send a newsletter monthly, and in that newsletter I showcased what my current listings were, right? So definitely things you guys should be thinking about sort of picking up now to help push your business, to help sell a little faster now in this market. Everything you're doing is going to be helping with that. All right, discouraging clients from FSBO. What's FSBO? For sale by owner, right? So a lot of our clients right now, because they're getting less of a price, first thing they think of is, I don't want to pay the commission, because I could have got $150,000 more for my home at the beginning of the year. Now I'm getting less. So you know what? I'm going to sell it myself, and I'm going to, you know, not have to pay that commission, right? So it's good to remind them that we're familiar with the local market, where we can help, right? We can restructure the listing. We can push our marketing strategies. Use the strength of your brand. I keep on reminding you guys, RE/MAX is viewed 3 to 1 online, which means our SEO marketing power is really great. When somebody goes and searches, you know, condo in Scarborough, if you have a listing up, it's going to get viewed 3 times more than anyone else online. Okay. So you can look up that stat online. You can Google that and check that stat online. They're going to connect with an agent who has experience in fast property turnover. So you guys are doing the right thing tonight, attending training. You're going to tell your clients, hey, you know what? I know how to push your property right now in a hard market. I'm not going to just list it on MLS. It's a good way to close your listing appointments too, right? I'm not just going to list it on MLS, and I'm not just going to, you know, let it sit up there online. I'm going to push it by doing, you know, just listed flyers, and I put a personal website out there for you. And, you know, I push it in my social media groups, right? So you're going to tell them all the reasons why they don't have to use a for sale by owner and why it's worth it. The other thing I remind my clients about for sale by owner, and this is, I do it when I cover the objection handling, is when we have a for sale by owner, okay, I always remind my clients that they're paying the buyer agent, but they're not paying a listing agent, because the buyer agent, usually I think the stat is like 1% of homes are actually sold private to private. Whenever you have a for sale by owner, 99% of the time it's an agent bringing that buyer. Okay. So what I do is I remind my clients that you are paying to have your buyer represented, the person who's purchasing your home. You're paying to have them govern, but you're not paying to govern yourself in one of the biggest transactions of your life. Right? It doesn't make any sense. If you're paying them 2.5, why don't you pay 1% extra and have me as your listing agent govern your transaction to make sure that you're not getting caught up in the legalese, to make sure there's no tricky clauses in there, to make sure that your documentation is done properly for your agreement of purchase and sale, right? Definitely something you're going to remind them for sale by owner. Okay. And know your market. That's just a no-brainer. You got to know what kind of market you're in. You can't use the same pitch every listing appointment you go to now. You can't use the same pitch for all your listings right now. What worked in February doesn't work now, right? We all know you can't just throw everything up for a bidding war and poof, it's gone in a couple of days, right? Sad, I know, but I honestly prefer working in this market, especially as a buyer agent. I don't know how you guys feel. I'd love to hear your feedback about it. I like a slower market because I feel like, you know, it's such a big purchase. You know, people are buying their home to live in. I like the time to put in an inspection clause and go in with the home inspector and see how things are and make sure there's no damages. I found I was holding my breath a lot of closings when things were really fast and aggressive, because once they closed, I didn't know what was going to happen with that property. You know what I mean? I hope everything was okay. I hope the roof isn't leaking. You know, I'd see the client call and you kind of go after closing and hope that it wasn't a complaint about something. So, you know, it's definitely a good time. Don't look at it as a bad thing. I know it's slower and things aren't as easy, but you just have to learn how to strategize different to push your listings, to push, you know, to close your listings right now, to call all your buyers and try to work with your buyers right now to push them right to buy. But definitely know what market you're in is a big, big thing. Don't be an oblivious realtor. Market your home aggressively. This is like kind of what I was saying before. So in addition to using MLS, you know, they say advertise in local papers. It's not really a popular thing to do right now, but definitely focusing on, you know, your photography, pushing your staging, you know, doing your drone photography, numerous signs and flags in front of your home. So this is a big one. And I'd like to mention this to a lot of people. If you have a listing that's not on a main street, okay, especially right now, this is the time that you want to get some directional signs out there. Okay. If you've got a listing on Markham Road, thousands of people are driving by your listing every day. But if you've got a listing in the interior in the neighborhood, how is anybody supposed to know? You know, unless they're actively looking online, but you know, it's a good idea to get that directional sign out there, because people who are thinking, you know, oh, I hate driving here every day, 45 minutes to work. They see a directional sign on a main road that they're driving in, they might drive in past the home to say, hey, this is really close to my work. I didn't know it was right here, and check out your listing. So directional signs, flags, big things that are working right now. Like I say, dig into your pockets and get a little bit of extra marketing material out there to help push the sale of your home. Directional signs are a big one. My favorite when it's not on the main road. Definitely at any time of the year, I'd use it, not just in a slow market. Virtual tour. Yeah, definitely do. Everybody should be doing virtual tours now. You shouldn't put up a listing without it, really and truly, because especially during COVID, everybody was vetting listings online versus listings going through, you know, 10 listings. They might eliminate 5 of those 10 listings, vetting things online through virtual tours, right? Because they get a better feel for the property. So don't skimp on that ever, I don't think, nowadays. Be flexible with showings. This is a huge one. Okay. I always tell my clients, don't deny any showings, no matter what you can do, don't deny any showings. Try not to adjust the times on them. Try not to change them, because you find a lot of agents don't come back with their clients to rebook that showing. So especially now when things are slow, every showing you're getting is so precious and you don't know who would have purchased the property. I've been warning all my clients, please don't miss a showing. Don't avoid a showing. Don't make me push it an hour later or an hour earlier. It's not worth it. Just kind of be show ready at all times. And I know it's difficult. Sometimes it's out of control and you have to do it. But I always warn them the important, how important it is to not deny that showing right now. Playing up your home's best features. So if you have fireplaces, make sure the fires are burning so that there's a warm glow, especially now. Please, please, please tell your clients to keep the heat on. How many of you have been for showings in a freezing cold house, right? Do your clients want to stay long in that house? They don't stay in that property. So it might be something they liked, but it was not an enjoyable showing because they were freezing through the whole thing. You know, they're made to take their shoes off, their feet are frozen. Nobody wants to stay long in the property. So keep the house warm, keep your fireplace going. They say if you have a gourmet cook's kitchen, have some great smelling treats baking in the oven. I don't know how that's great for an open house. Don't leave treats baking in your oven if you left your house for a showing. Put on soothing music. Set lights and lamps of the home if the home looks dark and heavy. So make sure you've got it nice and bright. Do the same as if you were having a formal dinner party, they're saying. So make your house sparkle, do that little extra you were doing. If you were having a holiday party right now with all your friends, what would you do to your house? You know, you might have the little extra air freshener out. You know, you might have put an extra few bulbs on or turn lights on you don't normally turn on in your home. Definitely do those things for all your showings. Offer buyers incentives. So this is touching a little bit on what we were talking about earlier. So like, you know, if your house needs a little bit of paint and you get that as feedback, you might offer to pay for that. But then you could also do stuff like, you know, see if you and your seller want to go in and do a 3-day trip to Mexico. Really and truly, at the end of the day, if you're getting your house sold, you know, right now, I think vacation packages are somewhere around $1,200. It's not a lot to spend. People might think, oh, wow, that's crazy. Why would you offer that? But, you know, $1,200 or even a pair of $2,400 is not a lot of money to put in if your house is going to sell faster than the one down the street because you're offering a trip to Mexico. How about throwing in some appliances? Again, a couple grand in appliances. In something, you know, not crazy high end, but something, you know, decent, might spark people's interest to go, oh, I'm going to move into this kitchen and I'm going to get all new brand new appliances, right? Offer flexible terms. So the best way to sell a home quickly in a buyer's market is to adjust the terms of sale instead of the price. So what are we talking about? We're talking about closing dates, closing costs, you know, different things that you can adjust. Maybe you can even offer to pay for some of the closing costs or pay for hydro for the year. I don't know, be creative. Be creative if your listing really isn't moving. Because you know what the biggest shame is that you put so much time and effort into getting your listing, sitting with your client, getting that listing paperwork signed, loading it online, and then you sit there and it doesn't sell. If you lose the listing, that's the biggest shame ever. That's the biggest waste of your time, because we all know in this industry, we don't get paid until we actually sell the listing. So we put a lot of our money forward for our, you know, photos and staging, and I don't know what else you guys are doing for your listings, but you're putting all that money forward. The last thing you want is the property not to sell and to go on to another agent's hands, right? And the last thing it talks about here is a little bit, oh no, it's not the last one on here, but I thought involve the neighbors. So I always say there's 6 degrees of separation. I love just listed flyers and just listed calls. You guys should be actively calling the building, the neighborhood. 6 degrees of separation, not just to tell people that, you know, you have the house for sale, not just to also ask them if they'd like to list their property, but you want to ask them if they have any friends or family that want to move into the neighborhood. Right? You'd be surprised 6 degrees of separation works. They might say, oh, you know, I don't, but the neighbor across the street, her son just got married. Maybe you want to call the lady at 63 and see if her son who just got married, maybe want to purchase a house in the neighborhood. Right? So call the small pocket where your property is. Like I say, we're not busy right now. I'm hearing a lot of complaints how we're slow. So you can't say you're too busy. Give a call, give a just listed call to the neighborhood that your listing is in. Or send out your just listed flyers, right? Communicate feedback to your clients. This is super important. You guys should be doing this anyways. It should always be pushed in your listing, but say somebody walks in and says, you know, the paint is really bad in the kitchen and, you know, my client doesn't want to really go in and paint everything. Like I say, you could say, okay, you know what? We'll offer to have it professionally painted for you if you purchase the property, right? Something like that. And the first offer rule. Probably more important now than ever in a buyer's market. So, you know, our clients always get that first offer right away and they go, I don't know, I think I'll wait and see if I get something better, right? But in a slow market, in a buyer's market like this, that first offer probably won't come again. You probably won't get something as good as that first offer. So we definitely want to explain to our sellers more than ever and be a little aggressive about it is then we get that first offer. It's probably going to be your best one and the one you should take. Otherwise, you'll be waiting a long time for a next offer and it probably won't be as good, right? All right, so I'm going to see everybody online here now. I feel like I've talked your heads off enough. Do you guys have any questions or anything that you guys are coming across that I didn't cover, maybe that I can help you in the next 5 minutes with your listing? Does anybody have any listings right now that are sitting up? Like I was saying earlier, the most popular thing for me to do is to breathe new life into that listing. So I always try to take it down a little chunk in price and throw it up. If it's set for a couple weeks, my listing isn't, you don't normally see my listings up for 30 days. That one I'm just patiently waiting to see what happens with the other unit. Normally by now I take it off, I throw it up, I make the front pick different because, you know, everybody looking online sees that same pick, think it's the same listing. Change the pick. When you throw that new listing up, what happens is it goes into everybody's inboxes again. So, you know, if any of the public or any of the realtors have their clients set up for prospect searches, when you throw it up as a new listing like that, it's going to go funnel into all those people's inboxes again and remind them about that listing, even if they've seen it before. But if you change it up enough, maybe something you've done differently will entice them to come see it. Maybe something you did the first listing didn't click. Maybe your description wasn't catchy enough, or I don't know, maybe people just weren't looking that week. I had the listing on Bremerton once, and I don't know why it didn't go the first week. We took it down, we relisted it, and it went fine the next week. It sold fine the next week. So sometimes it's just the luck of the draw of who's looking that week. And who happens to see your listing. So I really encourage you guys to monitor your listings and take the time to do it. I know it's a pain because we have to do our listing paperwork and our MLS data sheet again, but it's something that's going to help you sell that property at the end of the day. So your client is counting on you to put that time and energy in for them to push that listing, right? All right, guys, if you have any listings that are sitting and you don't want to maybe talk about them here, you want to talk about them later, or even if one comes up in the next couple of weeks and you want some ideas, call me, text me. You guys always know where to find me. I'm always here. So nice to see you guys again. I missed you guys while I was on vacation. And I will page out the topic for upcoming Tuesday. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks, Christine. You too. Have a good evening.